The priest held her haunted gaze and then turned with a frown to the bedroom door. And as he grasped the doorknob, the sounds from within abruptly ceased. In the ticking silence, Karis hesitated, then slowly entered the room, almost flinching backward at the pungent stench of moldering excrement that hit his face and his nostrils like a palpable blast. Reining in his revulsion, he closed the door, and then his eyes locked, stunned on the thing that was Reagan, on the creature that was lying on its back on the bed, head propped against a pillow, while eyes bulging wide in their hollow sockets shone with mad cunning and burning intelligence, with interest and with spite, as they fixed upon his, as they watched him intently, seething in a face shaped into a skeletal mask of unthinkable malevolence. Karis shifted his gaze to the tangled and thickly matted hair, to the wasted arms and legs and distended stomach jutting up so grotesquely. Then back to the eyes. They were watching him, pinning him, shifting now to follow as he moved to a desk and chair near the large bay window. Karis fought to sound calm, even warm and friendly. "Hello, Reagan," he said. He picked up the chair and took it over to the bed. "I'm a friend of your mother's," he said, "and she tells me that you've been very, very sick." Karis sat down. "Do you think you'd like to tell me what's wrong?" he asked. "I'd like to help you." Reagan's eyes gleamed fiercely, unblinking as a yellowish saliva dribbled down from a corner of her mouth to her chin, to her lips stretched taut into a feral grin of bow-mouthed mockery. She gloated sardonically, and hairs prickled up on the back of Karis's neck at a voice that was deep and thick with menace and power.
"So it's you. They sent you,"
she continued, as if pleased.
"Well, we've nothing to fear from you at all."
"Yes, that's right," Karis answered. "I'm your friend, and I'd like to help you."
"You might loosen the straps then,"
Reagan croaked. She had tugged up her wrists so that now Karis noticed they were bound with a double set of leather restraining straps. "Are the straps uncomfortable for you?"
"Extremely. They're a nuisance. An infernal nuisance."
The eyes glinted slyly with secret amusement. Karis saw the scratch marks on Reagan's face, the cuts on her lips where apparently she'd bitten them. "I'm afraid you might hurt yourself, Reagan," he told her.
"I'm not Reagan,"
she rumbled, still with that taut and hideous grin that Karis now guessed was her permanent expression. How incongruous the braces on her teeth looked, he thought. "Oh, I see," he said, nodding. "Well then, maybe we should introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karis. Who are you?"
"I'm the devil."
"Ah, good," Karis nodded approvingly. "Now we can talk."
"A little chat?"
"If you wish."
"Yes, I would like that,"
Reagan said, drooling a little from a corner of her mouth.
"However, you will find that I cannot talk freely while bound with these straps. As you know, I've spent much of my time in Rome, and I'm accustomed to gesturing. Karis. Now then, kindly undo these straps."
What a precocity of language and thought, reflected Karis. He leaned forward in his chair with a mixture of amazement and professional interest. "You say you're the devil?" he asked.
"I assure you."
"Then why don't you make the straps disappear?"
"Come. That's much too vulgar a display of power. After all, I'm a prince, the prince of this world, as some very strange person said of me once. Can't quite remember who."
A low chuckle.
"I much prefer persuasion, Karis, togetherness, community involvement. Moreover, if I loosen the straps myself, I deny you the opportunity of performing a charitable act."
From The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Welcome to... Oh man, what's our podcast name again?
Remnants.
Remnants. Oh my god, it's only been like 5 billion years.
Yeah.
I'm Emily.
I'm Kayla.
We are your hosts of this show that we did not forget.
No. Sorry, we did take an unintentionally longer break than we planned, but you know, summer, life.
Lots of life
happened, and we didn't want to rush back.
Yeah. We have actually been working a ton on the podcast while we've been away, and we've done a few pretty big investigations, and we've got more coming up.
Yes.
So that's part of the delay, is we kind of pivoted from just a podcast to a lot more than that. So
Yes.
lots and lots of work on our hands, and we are very excited.
Yes. I had to buy an external hard drive for all of the stuff we've been doing.
Kayla got a camera for her birthday with night vision.
I did.
All right, so welcome to season 2.
Yes, I'm so excited to be back. I've been itching to get back into the recording chair.
Me too. I got so nervous. It's like we're performing for my cat. She's the only one who's here.
Well, she's not trying to get on the keyboard, so actually that's improvement.
Don't say that. Shh.
Okay, just kidding.
All right. So,
I guess, so should we talk about what we've kind of learned in our investigation about ourselves?
where are we starting with? Are we starting with our theory that we have?
Yes, not the reason we apologize.
Yeah.
That'll come.
We'll come to that
That'll
later.
come in the episode when we talk about that
Don't want to
investigation.
spoil things too much.
But this is in general, it's kind of a theory we've had for a while about ourselves, but it just keeps getting confirmed every time we go to a haunted place. Well, and a not haunted place too.
And a not haunted place, yeah. So we have a weird knack for getting EVPs literally anywhere, apparently, without trying. I don't know if you want to tell about our campfire fiasco that maybe you've seen on Instagram.
Yeah, we haven't put up the full video, but we recorded us telling drunk ghost stories, and when I was listening back to the footage, this creepy whispery voice comes through, and you can see, both Emily and I are on camera, so you can tell it's not one of us, and it's like we were just out at my parents' farm in the country. No one else was around.
It's scary.
It's such a weird, and it's pretty clear. I mean, I can't make out what they're saying, but it's very distinct.
And it's not, which this is kind of an interesting point that we'll talk a little bit more about in a second, but it's not a familiar sounding voice. It's something we haven't heard before. It has a very distinct sound to it, and it's really scary.
Yeah. Now, where we were filming on the farm is the location of the original homestead from the 1800s that's no longer standing, obviously.
You failed to tell me.
Well, I didn't really think about it till later, and so...
Your dad just put it there, and he's like, there's going to be ghosts here. It's going to be at this spot.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So I think...
dancing around a campfire, summoning ghosts.
We did. We summoned.
We did. We summoned something.
Or our theory is that one and or both of us are, I don't know, sensitive or something.
Something. Or we're both sensitive, but really dumb about it. And we're just what was that? When you had that big thing in your house?
Yeah, I was watching an episode of Sam and Colby, by myself in my house, and it was their Hellfire Club episode. And it was probably 10 o'clock at night. The loudest crash I'd ever heard. It sounded like it came from in my house. Now, granted, I do live in a duplex, so it could have been my neighbor, but he's usually super quiet, and I, never hear him, so, I don't know.
Has he been super quiet since? Have you seen him since? Did he just fall?
Yes, I have seen him since.
That's good. He just
well,
fall
I
to
did.
his
Part
death.
of me was but I didn't hear anything else. I mean, it was probably him, but, it was so loud, and it sounded like it was in my house, and it freaked me out. I had to turn off the episode and watch something different before I went to bed. I don't know.
So I'm wondering, have we been bringing stuff back with us? Because not so much me directly, but my son, I have a young son, and he's kind of at the age, obviously, you've met him, where he's talking a lot, but it's still just what are you saying?
Toddler talk.
Yeah, but he's been having some things come up lately, he asked me one night why there was an old man in his room, and I was like, that's a great question, buddy. Can you point out where the old man is? And we dropped that. That only came up one night. And then he was with my mom one other day, and he pointed outside the window and said that his name was out there, and he's Grady now. So whoever he was is now outside, and he's now Grady. We're like,
That's creepy.
who's Grady? We don't like him.
Can you bring, go away.
Can Grady go home now?
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Grady. Go back to wherever you came from. So there's possibly an old man named Grady hanging around with me, just chilling.
Well,
Grady, if you're here, go away. We don't want you.
unless we're investigating.
Unless you're investigating, which I guess brings us to another theory we've come up with. Because we've noticed twice now we've gotten an EVP of someone saying hello, a man. Not only that, I feel like also some of the other EVPs we got at Waverly, the hello and the I'm Tim, they all sound like the same voice to me. And then we got a hello at one of our investigations we did a couple weekends ago. Literally the exact same voice, I think.
It sounded pretty identical.
Saying hello again. And my theory is that we have at least one ghost that just follows us and is now trolling us on every investigation and just pretending to be a ghost wherever we go. Because, like, I think he was pretending to be Timmy at Waverly, but he got the name wrong. And he was just like, I'm Tim. But he was like, damn it, that wasn't the name. So we just have a ghost that's giving us evidence.
Yeah, it just keeps telling us, hello.
So if Tim is here, or whoever you are, if you could step on up to the mic and leave a comment.
You're part of the show.
You're part of the show. Say hello, buddy.
Emily's AC turned on just then, which maybe gave me a little bit of a heart palpitation.
I was a little worried because I'm like, somebody's gonna fucking say hello, aren't they?
Well, they might.
If I get a hello, I'm moving.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's gonna help.
It won't help. Good God, if we get a hello on there. I'm not ruling it out as a possibility.
No. We'll talk about it in part 2. Because this is going to be...
This is a big one.
This is a big one. We've had this topic, I think we've even talking about this topic before since season 1. And it's just taken us a very long time to research because we wanted to do it justice and do it well.
I think we will have achieved that. So we both contributed to the same note packet. And how many pages did we end up with, Kayla?
Magical 13.
Yeah, the unofficial number that we decided to be our episode list forever and always, maybe, is 13. Mm-hmm. So for season 2, it only seems right that we have a 13-page note packet.
And I brought Emily to the dark side of extensive notes.
I went nowhere near as far as she did. I did my best, but
you
Kayla
went farther
still,
than you normally do.
I did.
But it also might just be the topic.
Probably. Also, I saw all your notes and I was like, well, shit.
But I did a post on Instagram today, which will obviously not be today when this episode comes out, but I just, can't help but write all my thoughts out as I'm writing my notes because I'm so afraid of forgetting something, but then it just looks like a paper.
You did write a paper. You did. I didn't really let myself read your stuff beyond, making sure I didn't repeat any of your points, too, because I'm just I want to be surprised.
We're definitely going to... Well, actually, kind of related to that, I think this episode's going to be very interesting because I think we're coming from very different places on this topic. You know, I was raised Catholic. I'm still Catholic, not as much of a practicing Catholic as I used to be, but... And then, Emily, you're more...
Nothing.
Agnostic.
Yeah.
So our spiritualities are different. And so
I did interject a few points. You probably noticed. And I'm just going to put this in here.
Just for the other people.
Yeah. Just for the, don't worry about it.
I think it's going to be interesting, our two viewpoints.
It will be. I did, however, we'll get to it later, but Kayla might have blessed some essential oils and put them in my diffuser before we started this. Yes. So I may not be Catholic, but I am still superstitious.
Just a little stitious.
Just a little stitious. All right. Is it time to get started?
Into it?
Yeah. Let's get into it. Okay. I hope we don't summon anything because I'm fucking in my apartment still. Just summon a goddamn demon.
Yeah, I know. So I guess our topic, which I guess the title of this episode is going to reveal that, but it's demonology and exorcisms.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
here we go. We're talking about a lot of things that a lot of people say aren't good to talk about too much, and we've got 13 pages of it.
And we're starting out our season with this topic.
It's all right.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Learn me good, Kayla. Father Kayla.
I guess we can start off with, like, what is demonology? And I think Emily and I are going to talk differently about it, but I'm going to tell what demonology is from the Catholic lens. We're Christian, but really Catholic. So, in the Bible and in Catholic theology, demon has come to mean much the same as the devil and denotes one of the evil spirits or fallen angels. Today, the word demon kind of encompasses any evil, and it's not just referring to Satan. I kind of get into that a little bit more later, but Christian demonology is studied in depth within the Roman Catholic Church, and although other Christian churches acknowledge and discuss the existence of demons as well, I mean, Catholics are the one with the whole exorcism department, so...
Of course.
Yes.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Catholics, it's wine and demons.
And I mean, exorcisms are practiced in a majority of world cultures, but I think in Western culture, it's exorcisms and demons. It seems to be associated with Catholicism. I mean, I put this in here, but do we just go back to the beginning in the Bible? Who is Satan?
I think he's that Tom Ellis, I think is that
Ooh.
the actor's name?
If that's really what Satan looks like, sign me up.
Sign me up for hell. Probably already am.
So, in the beginning, God created the angels with free will and the abilities to do their particular jobs. All of time was explained to the angels, and they were asked by God if they would serve in the roles that they were created for. Led by Satan, about a third of the angels said no, and they were cast out of heaven to roam earth until the end of time. After they were cast out, the fallen angels did retain their abilities, and as demons now, they use their abilities to do the opposite of what they were created for. So if an angel was created to encourage truth, it's now a demon of lies. Or, an angel of chastity is now a demon of lust.
I see.
So they still have powers, but they're
Interesting.
reversed. And Satan was the most gifted angel, and so was obviously the one that has led the revolt and leads them still.
I see.
Yes. Story time.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Kayla.
And demons, they do what they're told because they fear punishment from the higher fallen angels and Satan himself. And ultimately, God will punish them, but that comes at the final judgment, the end of days.
Is that when the zombies rule the earth?
Possibly.
Dinosaurs?
I never really have read the Book of Revelation. It's kind of seems
I feel like there might be zombies.
weird.
It seems a little weird, yeah.
I don't know. It's like, no, just give us day and happy times.
You're like, I'll probably already be dead, so I'll be one of the zombies.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Just don't get cremated.
Yeah, yes. Although
Gotta-
Catholics have changed their stance on cremation.
Gotta be a
but
little flying
They used
dust
to be like, you can't get cremated because you're going to need that body. And I'm like, but will I?
No, you're just gonna be a sentient cloud of dust.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Look for it. Sounds cool. Just float around. Ooh.
Like, finally, I'm an airbender.
Yes.
Or is that an earthbender? No. Both. You're the Avatar.
Yes.
God.
A demon's mission is to lead humans to sin. They try to tempt people into abandoning their faith, and demons also torment people during their life or through demonic possession by showing themselves before people to frighten them, or by provoking visions that could lead people to sin or to be afraid, and fear then opens for the demons to get in.
So I have a little point to just jab in here.
Jab away.
So obviously, I mean, we talked about this. I've never really looked at... I spelled Christian wrong.
Well,
That's
you're
funny.
not. Well, that's funny. You sure did. Christian.
Anyways, in whatever this Christian without an H mindset I was talking about, so I never looked at, religion, obviously. I never studied it or really learned it in any way, but I did read some C.S. Lewis, and I think he was called the Christian apologetic was what he did in his book. So this whatever. I read a few of his books that weren't the Chronicles of Narnia. And one was the Screw Tape Letters. And the Screw Tape Letters is basically about, like, a demon who works, like, in some administrative position in hell. And
Does that sound like hell?
Yeah, I know, right? Same
life.
Z's. And he's writing letters to, I think, his nephew, who's become, he's a young demon named Wormwood, I believe. Yeah, and he is, starting out his job as a tempter of man, and, like, he's telling him the best ways to lead man to sin. So I just pulled a quick quote from that book, because it seemed very fitting for what you were talking about. So, are you ready for story time?
Yes.
Okay. This is the demon talking. Screw tape.
Not
Not me. Might be, though. So... You have time itself for your ally. The long, dull, monotonous years of middle-age prosperity or middle-age adversity are excellent campaigning weather. You see, it is so hard for these creatures to persevere. The routine of adversity, the gradual decay of youthful loves and youthful hopes, the quiet despair of ever overcoming the chronic temptations with which we have again and again defeated them, the drabness which we create in their lives, and the inarticulate resentment with which we teach them to respond to it. All this provides the admirable opportunities of wearing out a soul by attrition. If, on the other hand, the middle years prove prosperous, our position is even stronger. Prosperity knits man to the world. He feels that he is finding his place in it while it is really finding its place in him. His increasing reputation, his widening circle of acquaintances, his developing sense of importance, the growing pressure of absorbing an agreeable work, build up in him a sense of really being at home in earth, which is just what we want. You will notice that the young are generally less unwilling to die than the middle-aged and the elderly, which I just think is an interesting kind of spin off of what you said, is very much talking about kind of how demons function with people.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty words, so I just wanted to share it.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
I think I have heard of it, but obviously didn't know what it was about, so... Well, I'll add it to my reading list.
Mm-hmm. Carry on, my wayward son.
Well, I think we might be to your section.
Are we on me now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk more about demon boys?
Let's talk about...
Horny boys? BuzzFeed on cell phone.
Yeah. We're just going to shout out, this is in all of the ghost shows we watch.
Yeah, we're not obsessed.
Nope.
Pretty sure I've got somebody referenced in my notes.
Love it.
So, how do you know if you have a demon? Or if what you're encountering might be a demon? Like, I know it's pretty common on ghost shows for investigators to jump onto something being demonic because demons are probably the scariest thing you can encounter. So obviously it'll be really big for Zach Bagans to, like, shout into the dark that there's a demon in the old Taco Bell bathroom. But that's probably not always the case.
I feel like that's kind of also, like, sensationalism. Like, that's like, if it's always a demon, people are going to be like...
Right. And...
Just going for the big guns.
Yeah, going for the big guns first. So I cited something Catholic.
Look at you. I'm converting you.
No, you're not. According to the Catholic Encyclopedia, which I guess is like an actual thing. It's just like a big thing of Catholic shit.
Well, yeah. Got a whole catechism.
Demonology is something that is taught by the demons. It teaches about the demons, and it leads to demons, which is sort of the idea that, and I think you talk about this later, even just thinking about demons too much is enough to bring them into your life sometimes, or at least you can open a door.
Right, like, it's okay to be curious, but don't cross over into too curious.
Yeah. So, like Kayla mentioned, we're talking about demons largely in a Christian lens. I'll kind of waver just a little bit, because obviously they exist in every culture, and sometimes they're not called demons. Sometimes they're just evil spirits. Sometimes they're human. Sometimes they're earth spirits. Sometimes they're just assholes without a body. So demons of a concept have existed over various cultures across history, and each iteration has its own unique interpretation. So historical mentions of demons date back as early as the Mesopotamians in 934 BC. I'm sure they were probably mentioned before that too, but...
We didn't have it written down.
Yeah, and I'm talking about one specific demon, who I'll bring up a little bit later.
Ah, you're teasing.
Teasing you with demons because I don't want to say his name too much. So, in my opinion, identifying a demon is tricky because whether or not you're being targeted by one depends a lot on how you're looking. Because demons, they're there to trick you. So, I mean...
Can't trust how they're appearing to you.
which goes both ways. Like, a demon could be pretending to be something else, or you're just trying to find a demon in everything. And if that's the case, you will, even if it's true or not. So, I'm discussing the signs that I look for as a lowly paranormal investigator. And I'm not going to say this is a super accurate list, but I made it myself.
I like it.
And...
I think I like it.
You'll love it. It's got 4 signs of a demon. So here's Emily's 4 signs of a demon. 1, smelly smells that smell bad. Oftentimes in cases of demonic involvement, the eggy smell of sulfur has been reported. This sulfuric funk is most likely just a mental association with the presumed perfumes of the bowels of hell. But I imagine the smell is pretty easy to identify. Sometimes people also mention smelling like rotting flesh. So, like, if anything smells really bad...
And that's not... I mean, that's not good for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, but sulfur's the big one. So, you smell eggs and it's not... Well, you know, it's like rotten eggs.
Yeah, it's a bad smell.
It's no good. Yeah, so if we smell sulfur anywhere, bye. Like, no thank you. Okay, so number 2. Look for this. Creepy kids or sweet little grannies. Yeah. So it might be helpful to think of a demon as an egregore, like a non-physical entity that feeds off the thoughts and energy it's given. On their own, demons aren't believed to have a lot of power. They manipulate their way into the energy they need by wriggling into the minds of their targets and creating fear. Because of this, demons are often believed to present themselves as something weak, primarily children. Although they might present themselves as an old lady, but I just don't think that's as much of a kicker in stories. So people are like, it's a kid, which we know about.
Yep.
So these disguises help demons get the attention of their victims and, at times, their trust. From there, all they need to do is build up their foundation of fear. And you kind of talked about that. The fear is kind of what gives them more and more power to manipulate people and to kind of enter into life for realsies and not just, like, knock shit over like a cat that's pissed off.
Right.
One of the most famous examples of a demon masquerading as their child is our best friend, Sally.
Aw,
The Sally House. And we'll talk about that bitch a little bit more later, too.
Yeah, I feel like we keep saying that. We'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later. But yes, we are going to talk.
That's what happens when you have an actual outline.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I can't get ahead of my notes. Got to stay on track.
All right, point number 3. The 3 knocks of death. Dramatic as it sounds, hearing 3 mysterious knocks has long been feared as a foreteller of death. In a similar vein, it's often theorized by paranormal investigators that hearing 3 knocks when speaking with a paranormal entity is meant to symbolize the mocking of the Holy Trinity.
Yep.
I brought up Zach Bagans again.
Oh, my buddy.
Now, I'm not sure if this is just like Zach Bagans' drama bomb addition to the lore, or if this is something that actually exists. But the number 3 has often been associated with the paranormal, with 3 a.m. being the witching hour. And a lot of rituals are just
3
scheduled for 3. So if you hear 3 knocks at 3 a.m. and you have 3 friends and you're each holding 3 bunnies or something, you might, I don't know.
Something bad's going to happen.
Something bad's going to happen. It's just
so don't do that.
Don't do that. You're probably fine, but... Yeah. All right, and point number 4. Have you or anyone you loved participated in any rituals lately? This is like before you go to the doctor, we have to do all the checks now. Like, have you anybody traveled lately? Any symptoms?
Have you been out of the country in the last 2 weeks?
If you do, you might have a demon. So, let's blanket statement agree that summoning things is a bad idea. Circling back to point number 2, demons are manipulative. Whether they're creatures from Christian lore or just some form of non-human malicious entity, unrelated to concepts of God, angels, and the devil, it's safe to say they're not good. These aren't the things we want to play with, and Ouija boards are widely agreed within the paranormal community to be a dangerous tool because they are basically a door, and if you open the door, you have no control over what walks through it.
Yeah.
I have a door sitting next to my door. I don't know if that door's been opened before.
And I gave it to you for your birthday.
You did. And I can't confirm or deny that things have gotten significantly worse in my life since getting it, but I did turn 30, so it's kind of like a toss-up. I don't know if demons or just being 30 are the problem, but, you know, it might be both. But thank you for that. But we haven't played with it, and in my mind, that's all that counts.
That's true. We have not opened it.
We have not opened it. We have not closed it. Don't know if whoever else
But maybe
closed it.
they just closed one about it.
Let's hope so, Kayla.
Let's hope so, too. Otherwise, I'll feel real bad.
Well, it's fine. I'll probably get another Ouija board at some point.
One of our listeners, Stacia, wants to give me a Ouija board. So, we've got another one coming.
Good. Are you keeping that one, or are you going to curse me too?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we do all our recording here, so it's kind of like more fitting here, but you might be like, I've got enough right now.
I want to just, like, have a whole room that I can, like, section off for the creepy shit I get now and just, like, ward it or something, or just, like, tell the demons, okay, this is your room. Mm-hmm. Be all creepy here.
But don't come upstairs or
don't cross this line.
Exactly.
I'll give you dolls to possess. You can have mirrors to scare me in. Knock over cups. I don't care, but just stay here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's nice.
It worked with Annabelle. They put her in a box.
And she stays there.
She stays in the box. Clearly, demons and ghosts don't know how to get out of boxes. It has to be a glass room. Because that's the whole thing. You put a big, super powerful villain in a glass room, they can't get out.
But then they can look out, you know.
They can look out, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like a ghost zoo. All right. So speaking of things, walking through the door, and about the guy, the demon guy I didn't mention before, because I was going to mention him later. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the Ouija board demon. So, back to the Mesopotamians. The demon Pazuzu existed within their ancient religion as the personification of the southwestern wind. Interestingly enough, while Pazuzu was often associated with destructive wind, he was also considered a safeguard against other demons and a protector of pregnant women. His likeness was even used in protection rituals and defense charms. So it's interesting kind of how he came to us and to be in our culture, but Pazuzu is the demon referenced in the 1971 novel The Exorcist as the demon that possessed Reagan after she used a Ouija board. And then a lot of what happens with Pazuzu, and I'm going to stop saying his name soon, this one isn't the super bad one, but he's just like exists in demon lore as one of the biggest demons associated with the Ouija board. And a lot of it might be that the name he tends to go by is super easy to spell on the Ouija board.
Because it's
in
repeating
stories.
letters.
Well, kind of. So, this demon is known by many names. The Ouija board demon, Pazuzu, the Enfield poltergeist, potentially, and, more infamously, Zozo. The demon we're about to discuss exists in many stories, and I'm going to refer to him just as Z moving forward, because I don't want to keep saying his name.
Yeah.
Because he in particular is one that saying his name people say can summon him, and I don't want to even mess with it. Yep, so we're going to give him the Voldemort treatment.
I like it. I approve.
Thanks. Your giant note packet I aggressively turned. I meant to do that more.
I know, I've been like trying to turn them so quietly, and Emily's just like...
I forgot. I try. Before we started, I made the mental note.
She's like a cat in a china shop.
I completely forgot about trying to not be loud. So, Z is often summoned by accident when someone uses a Ouija board. Warning signs that you might have stumbled upon this demon include, shockingly, his name being spelled out on the Ouija board. If you see...
ding, ding.
Wow, it's him! If you see
Shocker.
Z-O-Z-O, you're in trouble. And you fucked up. Like, the end. Sorry. So, the planchette of the Ouija board might start moving rapidly, and you might start feeling a terrible sense of dread. And the darkness around you might thicken, and the shadows might start to move. Like, I think in general, if that happens, you know something bad's happened.
And you close that up real quick, and you get out.
Yep, so that's what you do. What you do when that happens, you remain as calm as possible, and you close the session. You make sure you move the planchette to goodbye, and do nothing to give Z power. Don't say his name, don't address it. We're done. Now, if that didn't work, you need to seek help immediately. and that's of the exorcist sort. Find whatever exorcist you can find.
Yeah.
Even if they're on, like, Craigslist, just get one.
Get someone.
Get an exorcist. So, why is Z bad news? Aside from being reported to be one of the most powerful demons in hell, this Hasbro-loving hellion has been rumored to be part of several big-name cases in the paranormal world. And a lot of these are specifically, they're strictly rumors. Like, it's kind of, he's like a character. He just is there to be scary.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I kind of talk about this later when I'm talking about exorcisms, but, like, the Catholic Church is very vague on what happens during exorcisms, and part of that is to protect the people, because obviously if they release names and details, and those people are just going to become attacked by reporters. And
right.
So, but anyways, my point is then that leaves it open for rumors and interpretations to come in, because there's not a lot of true facts out there about what's really going on.
And that's just assuming that the people who encountered the demon got an exorcism.
Yeah.
Which isn't required.
That's true, too.
It's just, like...
Well, and I think in one of the podcasts you had sent me, we also learned, like, a demonologist is not an exorcist.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So...
And a lot of demonologists, they might not even be Christian demonologists. So,
right.
It's kind of just... And it also goes down to... Is this demon even a Christian demon?
Right. Or, do you need... Well, because, like, when I've watched Dead Files, like, sometimes she'll say on that show, like, you need a shaman, or you need a voodoo priestess, or it's not always you need a Catholic priest.
Right.
Sometimes she'll be like, you need Native American.
Yeah, which I think makes a lot more sense, because that could be anything, and some demon's just going to be like, I don't care what you say about that. Like, hear what's in the Bible.
I think it was an episode of Supernatural where... It was, like, all these different religion, like, characters, and their power had been greatly diminished because there wasn't just, like, a single religion, because, like, the world believes in so many different religions that all of these, quote, gods had, like, diminished power because, like, the beliefs were spread out.
That's interesting.
So maybe it's something like that.
Could be. That's what happens to what imperialism does to religion.
Yeah.
Now everybody's religion's just a little bit weaker. So here are some of the stories he's possibly involved in. In 1951, Z is rumored to have been the demon behind the possession of Roland Doe. And this might just be because it inspired The Exorcist, and we'll talk a little bit more about that possession case later. Again, teasing. But the boy who was possessed in this story is believed to have been possessed after attempting to contact his deceased aunt on a Ouija board. And after that is when the possession symptoms began and got very bad. In 1972, Doris Blyther of L.A. found herself and her family plagued by a dark entity she named Z after using a Ouija board. And I don't think an exorcist ever came and got involved in that one. It was just she played with the Ouija board.
That name came through.
Yep, and then it kind of tormented them for a while. This one is completely rumor. Which some I think they might all be, but this one for sure is. Just to clarify. In 1977 to 1979, a family in Enfield, England, were tormented by a malicious spirit, and that entire experience is largely believed to be a hoax now, but Ed and Lorraine Warren were involved, and they believed it to be paranormal, and a lot of the paranormal activity since then, people have theorized might be associated with that demon. But...
It's also come into question the
entire thing, which is a few things with Ed and Lorraine Warren, but Ed was a demonologist, so he kind of had some knowledge of all of that fun stuff.
Right.
It's a diffuser. I was like, I'm hearing dripping, and that made me nervous.
Is there a water leak? Is dripping a sign of a demon?
Actually, it is.
Oh, God.
I talk about it later.
Okay.
That's why I was like... All right. In 2012, a group of off-duty soldiers in Tombstone, Nevada, decided to play with a Ouija board. They made contact with an entity that claimed to have died in Tombstone. Later, while driving back after the encounter, one of the men got possessed and purposely crashed the car, nearly killing all the occupants.
Damn.
Which, again, is like, why are all these crazy things happening and we just haven't heard of it? But whatever, it's fun to say. And then, lastly... And I didn't put a date down for this one, but I'm assuming it was pretty recent. a YouTuber by the name of Kyle Godfrey attempted to use a Ouija board at 3 a.m. Kyle claims to have made contact with Z, which I don't know if he knew of this demon at the time, but that's the name the Ouija board spelled out for him.
Interesting.
When contact was made, Kyle asked the entity to give it its phone number. He was given the number 417, which is a Missouri area code. Springfield. So he lives in Springfield.
Shit.
So it's 417-666-6666.
That is such an easy number for the demon to remember.
That is so convenient. But who knew? He's in Springfield. So when the number was called, all the lights in Kyle's room shut off and the poltergeist activity ensued. The activity ended when Kyle ended the call.
Do we call that number?
No.
I'm just kidding.
If anybody else wants to call, go for it. I didn't tell you to. I just gave you the ability to know the number.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go see if you can find him in Springfield, that's apparently where he's living now.
There's a lot of Civil War battles, bloody battles down there.
Yeah, I guess he likes it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's chilling in Pythian.
Carthage, Missouri is outside of Springfield. Didn't Supernatural do an episode on Carthage?
So.
Like
I
that?
think that's like where a hellmouth was or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It
I don't know.
all
I
makes
haven't.
sense now.
Da, da, da.
Demons live in Carthage, Missouri. Do they have the 417 area code?
In Carthage?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Springfield is 417.
They do. Let's just say they do
They
then.
probably do because, I mean, Missouri, there's not that many area codes in Missouri, so.
Look, we're geniuses. We cracked the code. We cracked the demon code. No one else
I
could have
know
figured it out.
another part in Missouri, 660 is an area code. It's not quite 666, but anyways, Kirksville, 660.
Why didn't they go with that then? That's almost more on brand.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Anyways,
they didn't want
this
to
is way off topic.
Carthage does sound much cooler
Yeah.
than Kirksville, so.
The fall.
Carthage. Yeah, that's where they are.
It's an old, ancient name.
Yeah. Okay, demons live in Carthage, Missouri, and all their area codes are 417. We're checking. If Carthage isn't 417, I'm ignoring that fact.
What is the area code in Carthage, Missouri?
This is important information.
417.
Yes!
Dun, 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 dun.
That's our next road trip, Carthage, Missouri, to find where the demons live.
So yeah, it's Branson, Carthage, Joplin, Lebanon, Ozark, Springfield.
Branson seems like demons could live there, and be honest.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, anyways, that's kind of my story. That demon, Mr. Z, he's basically known to be like a mischievous demon, and
He gets around.
and I think it's not always like heavy involvement. It's just lots of tricks and has enough power to just scare people for fun, but he's also known for tormenting his victims and driving them insane before killing them, so. Or at least attempting to.
Not good.
Not good. But it sounds like it's just an interesting take on it, and I think a lot of it is because he's just an internet phenomenon at this point, where you
Right.
just tell the story. But then again, we've talked about how that alone can be enough to give something power, so.
Right, like if you've got enough belief in it, does that make it then true?
It could. Now, ready for some meat?
Yes. So now we're going to get into what a demon's ultimate goal is: possession.
Ba-ba-ba-bum.
I pulled a lot of my information from our
From what now?
author. Oh no,
You're being possessed!
I'm being possessed.
I'm a demon.
I'm okay. Wait, you're possessed now. I pulled a lot of my information from author Charles Frone's book Slain.
Charles what?
I think that's how they said his name.
Frones.
Frone. Just call him Charles. Anyways, he wrote a book called Slaying Dragons, and it's kind of just about the spiritual battle against evil spirits and the devil. And he was a founding theology teacher of a Catholic high school in the Diocese of Charlotte, oh my god. Charlotte, North Carolina.
I had a lot of jumble of words too.
Anyways, you know. So, Slaying Dragons, that's where I get a lot of this from. So, there's degrees or stages of possession, and these are not necessarily progressive, but they can be. So, first up is obsession. And this can be mild to extreme, and it's basically just when a demon or demons are messing with your thoughts and imagination that is disabling to a certain degree. It could be a nagging thought or even hearing voices. And the point is to break you down and drive you crazy and drive you to doubt and drive you away from God or drive you just away from the good in your life. And this is kind of what I was talking earlier about curiosity. So, an unhealthy curiosity of demons, it can leave a space for something to come in. Curiosity can breed obsession. But, preparation is good to avoid these evils, and it is human nature to be curious about dark things. So it's kind of good to be aware, but don't become so fascinated that it leads to obsession. And
So are you saying we're fine?
so we're fine.
We're fine.
We're just curious from the sense of we want more knowledge, but we're not like so obsessed that we're.
We're not inviting the demons in
Yes.
yet.
We're staying in the light because, humans are full of light. And so we're just going to hold on to our light and our faith, whatever your faith may be. Yeah.
Are we full of light? I don't know if I feel very full of light. I don't know.
You got to believe it. Make it. Fake it till you make it.
Try.
So the next step we have oppression. So this is when the activity increases to the physical. So it's physical attacks, nightmares, frequent and severe illnesses, major depression or anxiety, relationship trouble at work, that kind of stuff. Then after that, you've got infestation. And so this is external. The demon is in your house. It's messing with your electronics. Things are floating around the room. They're scratching on the walls, pounding on the stairs. Doors are closing and opening. You're going into your kitchen and the cabinets are open.
Oof.
And you can get possessed if you're in an infested home. But infestation is not possession. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Ouija boards, as you were kind of saying, they can lead to infestation because you're opening that door. And also infestation can start just from people who, maybe were abused. Yeah, I saw my typo. I just went right over it, but you have to point it out.
Ouija board.
I don't like that about Google Docs, is they're not great about pointing out.
I'm sorry, I had to point that
spellers.
one out. It's funny.
So another thing that can lead to infestation is just people that have wounds, people that have been abused, like mental wounds.
I was like, an open wound's enough.
I was like, maybe. Damn. But that can kind of let the devil in because those people, you're in a dark place and they haven't healed. And also curses and cursed items or, especially like when you buy a home, you don't really know what went on before you lived there. So, it's always important to just always bless your home when you move into a new house. I did not do that.
Neither.
But,
I got a lot of stuff that I bought specifically because it was kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, and demons are territorial, and they're, trying to take over our mortal world, so,
Demons are just having, like, West Side Story turf wars.
Yeah. It's just my house. They also, this, one podcast I listened to, they were talking about, like, demons can also infest your food, which is why we say prayers before our meals.
Ew.
Because they're just trying to get in you. Because their ultimate goal is possession.
They don't want in here?
Yeah, it's like, they'll be like, never mind.
Infest in my McDonald's.
So that leads us to possession, that stage.
Okay.
Which is rare, but not uncommon.
I mean, you were possessed as a child, so...
There's physical evidence of that.
There is.
My black eyes. Maybe I still am. Well, they did talk about how, like, when I get into exorcisms, like, demons can live in a person for a very long time. So, maybe it's just
chilling.
dormant. It might just be dormant right now.
I don't like that. I don't like the idea of a dormant demon.
Dormant demon.
You got a DD.
I got a DD. Great. Can you take over sometimes? You might do better.
Yeah, maybe demons don't get like affected by like alcohol and stuff. So every time you're like, all right, demon, your turn. Drive me home.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's not Jesus take the wheel.
It's dormant demon, take the wheel.
Dormant demon, take the wheel.
That's beautiful. Wow.
I'll tell Carrie Underwood she needs to rewrite her song.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah,
It'll be a hit.
Yeah, she'll love it.
Big hit. Wow. Okay.
So, possession. That is when the demon has gained the rights to take over the body, but not the soul. You know, the devil can cloud or darken your soul, but it can't possess your soul. A person's free will is never removed. It's only severely compromised. Because, you know, a person is so broken down by the state that the demons are able to occasionally control the person, but they never have full absolute control.
Sorry.
And possessions are almost always multiple demons, and, you know, some exorcists believe that demons travel in groups, or maybe it's a single demon, but they'll call in reinforcements once they're at the possession stage.
Demons are pack animals now?
Yeah. Like, come on, buddy, I found an opening. Let's go.
How many demons does it take to possess a child?
Well, a lot of parents might say a lot.
At least 10. And Hitler has to be one of them,
Yeah.
according to some stories.
Yes. It's always Judas, Hitler,
Yeah. Your Aunt
Nero.
Bob. Aunt Bob. Yeah, Nero's there. They're like in a demon bowling league.
Yeah.
They just go out every Saturday to possess somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this book, he talks about another stage, which I didn't see come up as much. You got obsession, oppression, infestation, and possession. But Charles Frone, he also talks about subjugation.
I haven't seen that one.
Which I thought, it actually makes a lot of sense and it's interesting. So that's when an individual intentionally makes a pact with a demon or the devil. And it's intentional, so that part is important. The person craves power because they have none, and the devil takes advantage of that. Now, we're going to get into some conspiracy theories, if you will, but I don't know, maybe they're not. So there's a theory called the Lennon prophecy that claims John Lennon made a deal with the devil when he was 20 years old in December 1960 to have 20 years of fame. And this kind of fits because the Beatles just like kind of inexplicably shot to fame in December of 1960. And you fast forward 20 years to the day John Lennon was shot to death. And the man, Mark David Chapman, that killed John Lennon, he testified he was possessed by demons. And the voices were telling him to kill John Lennon. And he was allegedly exorcised of 5 demons. And there also are apparently some signs to this pact he made with the devil in the lyrics he wrote in some of his Beatles songs. I didn't really deep dive into that, but there's quite a few articles out there on it, so if someone wants to go look into that, they can. Another story of subjugation. I am not going to talk too much about this because I think it would make a really interesting... Which is beeping.
The demons turned off our diffuser.
Oh, God.
Ah! I need the oils. I do think it's making me cough, though. Am I a demon?
Well, I think I might have put too many drops in there, so, like, if the air is too strong, well, then maybe you just turn it off. There's enough going on in here.
I was wondering why I was coughing, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I think I made it too strong.
Are my cats dying?
Well, the cats did leave the room. That's how we keep the cats out of here. They don't like frankincense.
You're gonna keep me out of here. All right, I'm good.
So another story of subjugation, I'm just going to kind of briefly talk about because I think I maybe want to do an episode later on it because I think his story is super fascinating and it also gets into the concept of crossroad demons. But Mississippi blues musician Robert Johnson, he became one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century and a master of the Delta blues style, and he literally became talented overnight. The story goes that he was not a great musician and he kept trying to make it. So one night, he went to a local crossroads and sold his soul to the devil to gain musical success. And he came back that next day and all of a sudden could just play, like, so amazing. And he died at the age of 27 of unknown causes. And he wrote a song called The Crossroad Blues. And the lyrics are very on point.
Oh.
No, it might just be a story. But anyways, I might want to talk about this in an episode someday because I just think the story and the legend is fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll just leave that story for now.
I've never heard the John Lennon one.
Yeah, I hadn't either till I heard it in a podcast episode I was listening to, and I was like, oh, that's fascinating. So then I Googled it, and a bunch of articles come up on the Lennon prophecy. So, yeah.
Oh,
Anyways.
my demon's being exercised right now.
Do we need to take a break?
Maybe.
Okay, no more frankincense for you. Or it's working.
Be gone, demon.
Jesus is trying to work on you.
I don't want it.
Accept it.
Get out.
Accept it.
This isn't how I wanted to find out I was possessed. I have a dormant demon.
Yeah, you were so worried about me. You're the one with the dormant demon.
The one choking with the holy incense. Okay. I think I can breathe now. I think the demon has settled.
I think this is where we're going to end the episode.
Yeah.
And we'll just tease that we're going to talk about probably the most famous story of possession.
Mm-hmm. That's next.
That's next.
Be prepared for all demons. I will try to cough up the demon that I've been struggling with since we started this episode before recording the rest of it.
I'm trying to kill Emily. No, kill the demon in Emily.
You're succeeding. It's dying. Or I am. All right. So I'll see you for part 2.
In 2 weeks. Dun, dun, dun.
Remnants out. Then we play.
I should say. Sorry. We changed our Instagram name. So if you're already following us, great. It doesn't matter. If you're new to us, it's at, especially if you listen to old episodes, you're like, I can't find you. We're now at Remnants Paranormal.
Yep. Seem more all-encompassing with us being paranormal investigators and all that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Go follow us. That's where we'll post stuff.
Lots of stuff.
So, anyways. See ya.
Bye. Demons, demons, demons. I hope we don't summon one.
Then
Demons,
I will
demons, demons. I
exercise
hope
you.
we don't summon one.
I
Demons,
will
demons,
exercise
demons.
you.
I think we might need to save that.